How did the band start, and for how long were you together?
I guess Chris, you should probably answer that. The origin story.
Zedi Forder started in 2015, and young Master Rich joined soon after, didn't you?
Yes, yeah, I answered your ad on one of the guitar websites looking for band members.
Yeah. And we had a guy called Mark Carstairs who was on guitar at that time, who left sometime in 2017. And then we got the Mighty Wayne in 2000. Was it 18 or 19? I think it was 19.
Early 2019, yeah. Yeah. Literally 4 years ago, I think, about 4 years ago.
And then and that's when we recorded Isolation. And that's when we recorded Judgment, which is under the moniker of Zedi Forder Superium. And we also did a Ditties EP. So we did, we released a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, it was good. Good music. The I guess there's loads. Chris has loads of history with bands and stuff before Zedi Forder as well, which I guess is all leading up to the ultimate pinnacle of excellent music, which is Zedi Forder.
Just the same music but different names.
Yeah,
basically. that's all it was. So if you could both put the physical copy of the Ditties album, so a CD, up your asses, would you? Would you?
That's not a real question.
It's not. It is.
You can't ask that.
She's fucking
What do you
weird.
mean? What do you mean? What? I've got two up there right now.
She's fucking weird with her questions.
Like, have you got them in the same direction, or have you got one like across of CDs?
I've got one on mini disc, so it's not so painful.
Oh, really go for the format completist. I've got the vinyl up there.
Jesus,
it's slightly melted and curved around.
The best, I mean, USB would be the best option, right? You probably won't even realise it's.
USB. Yeah, you can smuggle the
slip it up there.
USB feels good.
Slutty arsehole envelope that.
USB stands for up strange bottom anyway.
What happened to mini discs? I remember mini discs being it was the thing that was going to replace everything.
Yeah, I had one. I had a mini disc player.
I had 2 mini disc players. The advert was them just chucking one around and like landing, fucking putting weights on it and stuff, saying, "Oh, look how indestructible it is." And I got a mini disc player in the 90s. And it cost fucking hundreds, I think. Like when they first came out.
They're expensive, yeah.
And they're shit now. There's like.
They were good at the time because they transferred the data really well. Like I don't think they did any like compression or any of that sort of shit.
Yeah, it was when most people didn't have CD writers, wasn't it? And
yeah.
Recording stuff to cassette was so crappy. So
you got lots of vinyl players and stuff you could record it onto. It was quite useful, but obviously MP3s killed them. So.
Yeah, too near piracy.
Yeah, it was just before it, wasn't it? So bad timing, really.
One of my friends at school used to go to MVC, which is like a local equivalent of HMV, and just like buy 10 CDs and a pack of mini discs at a time, and then he had the audacity, like the week later, to bring back the CDs and say he didn't like them. Absolute prick. He's a doctor now, GP.
So he can afford to go back and buy all those fucking albums. Yeah. Ripped off. You can go around the shops. I got 2 albums on mini disc. I got Cypress Hill. I can't remember the fucking name, man. But it was the one that had. There was a game called Kingpin.
Oh yeah, the music for it.
And it had a track that went doom 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 doom. And it was that album, whatever album that was, and I think it was a Fugees.
Oh, nice. It's very 90s of you.
The Fugees, fucking that was it. There were only 2. I'm not even sure if I saw any metal stuff on mini disc. Even in those days, I was still buying CDs. don't know. Maybe it's because people didn't embrace it as well, like the artists.
Yeah, don't know.
They reckon they keep saying that records coming back, right? But
I don't think they'll ever be manufactured in large enough quantity to have them come back like properly.
nah,
They're too much of a hassle to make.
it's just niche stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Audio files.
They've overtaken like CDs and cassettes. They're the most popular.
But doesn't that
format.
all that says to me is that it's such an all-time low of physical sales
Yeah.
that this niche fucking quite cool thing, because I guess the artwork's coming back with it as well, which is what everybody loved
cool.
about records and stuff. Who inspired you as musicians? Any particular artists? And if so, why them? Anyone want to take that? That's a big fucking list, probably for most of us, man.
Nah. No.
Nobody.
I am a true original.
Woke up great one
completely
day.
unique.
Had no
Yeah.
influence. Didn't need any fucking influence, man. Just
I mean,
descended.
I think they got. I guess like when I was very young, I just listened to the Beatles because that's what my parents listened to. If they were listening to pop music, which was rare because they were mostly listening to classical music. So, like, I learned a lot of Beatles tracks on bass, and then shifted from there straight to death metal.
What the hell?
By Skunk Anansie. Actually, Skunk Anansie was good as well because they had some hammering bass lines.
That's quite the leap.
Yeah. It's a relatively rapid descent into metal, actually, from sort of listening to nothing really other than the Beatles and the Austin Powers soundtrack, and then the Skunk Anansie album, and then Rage Against the Machine, and Opeth. So, like, you know, screaming death metal.
I went from first albums were all those shitty now 34 now, 69. Those albums, pop albums, but then it was. I remember asking for a Jagged Little Pill for like my 9th birthday, which was mental, obviously. But I really listened to Jagged Little Pill and What's the Story, Morning Glory, those two albums, and that Pulp album.
Oh yeah.
The one with Common People on it, and Disco
yeah.
and listen to those.
So when did it start getting heavy?
When so the new metal era came in the late 90s, early 2000s, so that was Linkin Park, Papa Roach, Limp Bizkit.
Took my life into pieces.
And that was when I started playing guitar, and then it was all got into Metallica, obviously, that was massive. Megadeth, and then from there the slow descent as Rich into the most hardcore death metal you could possibly find, and sludgy stoner, slowest possible, Sun O, one riff takes 4 hours to play. And Tool were massive as well.
I think we heard quite a lot of that on Bandcamp, stuff like that.
Yeah.
One Note Sludge, sludge.
But now it's a bit of everything. Now it's like fucking Beatles, Kate Bush, Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, Kate
Bush, very
Rush.
fine.
Everything nowadays, mixed it up a bit, but still death metal.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of different stuff now. Still always come back to some metal, but
broader tastes, maturer tastes.
Yeah,
that's what everybody's
I
got.
always listen to a lot of funk and soul as well.
Oh, do you? What now?
No, I used to play in funk and soul bands, so I used to listen to funk and soul a bit more. But,
I've always had a slight pull towards wanting to start a funk band.
Yeah, like extremely tight with a razor sharp horn section, like Tower of Power.
I forgot to mention Sum 41 as well.
Sum 41.
That was the first gig I ever went to. Was Sum 41.
Nice.
Nottingham. Mental.
What's their biggest
Rock
song?
City.
What's their biggest song that Sum 41?
Fat Lip. Yeah.
How's that one go?
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Storming through my body, my name is. Don't know what the lyrics are, but
Well, my influences are all the same. I guess I'm a little older, so probably
A little older.
a little, just like a fraction older. So maybe I hit like the end of the grunge era in real time. So it was definitely into stuff like
some of those old grunge
Nirvana
bands
and Soundgarden and all that sort of stuff. I remember getting into bands like Korn really, really early. So that would have been like 94 or something like that. I really like them.
I was definitely too young to listen to Korn when they first came out.
Yeah, I thought Korn were
way past my bedtime.
Great when they came out. I'd never heard anything like it. Really big, rolling, stiff, rhythmic, power drumming, but heavy and dark, and not too slow. They kind of got a bit slower as the albums progressed. But it was just groove. A lot of the Korn stuff. I remember thinking the singer was unique as well. But there's loads of bands like that came out in that era that I listened to. Always like Machine Head, bands like that. Always like the 80s stuff, Metallica. Not too much into the other big four. I was never massively into Slayer. I thought they were alright.
And no one's ever heard an Anthrax song before, right?
I don't know if I couldn't
name one.
I couldn't say if it was Anthrax if they were fucking like live on stage.
Cred. Oh my
Come on,
god!
how were they part of the big four? It was the big three.
A Megadeth, cool. How about the classic bands then? How about the stuff like, I know you said the Beatles and stuff, but how about the classic rock stuff like Led Zeppelin?
Oh yeah, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath. Oh yeah, forgot to mention Black Sabbath. Fucking
I
huge.
never really got big into like the 70s classic rock stuff and metal stuff. I was much more into the 80s stuff.
The originators, Rich.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like Black Sabbath, I always found that stuff like Black Sabbath, they wrote some absolutely ridiculously good riffs, and then turned them into terrible songs overall. And then by the 80s, bands had learned how to write excellent songs with excellent riffs. I don't know. It's very mean to say something like that about a band like Black Sabbath.
Controversial.
Do you know what I mean? They like it. Anyway, yeah.
Do anyone remember the band Dry Kill Logic? Does anyone ever listen to those guys? Because there were these tiny sort of bands. They were the big bands that have pushed through, like Deftones. You know, they're always going to go on because they sort of reached that height of popularity. And then there were kind of all these bands in the nu metal era that didn't, even though I thought they were quality, and Dry Kill Logic was one of them. Just in the wake of the whole nu metal thing, the whole nu metal wave, you got all of these like tiny bands that didn't deserve to perhaps be tiny. In the early 2000s, I'd say one of my biggest influences. I was, past your prime ones, I guess, from your teenage years. But I'd say Sixth were quite a big influence when I heard them.
Sixth, for sure.
Saw them a few months ago, actually. Did like a
nice
reunion show in Manchester.
Oh, sweet, man. So they're still going?
Yeah, I think they've got
they reformed, didn't they?
Is it the original lineup?
In Bournemouth a few years ago.
It's the original lineup, yeah. I actually think from the nu metal era, it was probably System of a Down was the biggest one.
Oh, System of a Down. How can we fucking not mention them until now? System of a Down, fucking great band.
They were my favourite nu metal band.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Korn. They overtook Korn.
I think Deftones are my favourite nu metal band.
Yeah, Deftones are up there, definitely top 10.
I wouldn't count them as nu metal anymore though. They've kind of moved on from that a bit, but
what about?
I guess a lot of them did.
What about the bands? What about post 2000? Let's talk recent. What is the quality? Or maybe last 10 years at least.
Last 10 years.
Yeah. come on, is there anybody we can point at and go?
Newcomers in particular.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, last 10 years, but because I just can't think of anybody. If I said anything sooner than that, like 2 years.
Well, metal's not popular anymore, is it? So only bands I listen to have
we wouldn't even
got,
know.
like, 300 listeners on Spotify.
There's quite a lot of there's quite a lot of extreme metal stuff that I don't think.
It'd be like Zedi Forder, that they exist, but
Zedi Forder. Yeah.
No one knows.
There's bands like there's like black death metal band called Voices who are from London. They're really good.
How about the metal? Do you like metalcore?
Oh, there's a band called Great American Ghost, who are a metalcore band. Really good.
Great
American Ghost.
I'll give them a listen.
How about Architects? We got any Architects fans in the building?
Yeah, I'm not big on them.
Not enough balls.
Did they get a bit poppy recently?
Yeah.
They went down a bring me to the horizon sort of route.
Yeah. There's a band called Conjurer. They're good. UK.
Conjurer. Okay.
Conjurer, prog sort of death.
It's all death though, isn't it?
Metal.
Like I mean,
see, that's where Curly doesn't travel.
Through my
Curly doesn't
kind
travel
of favourite metal albums from the. It's either Beaten to Death, grindcore band, Norway, extremely good. Melodic grindcore.
These are the ones that have survived because they've always had that underlying fan base there that supported super extreme stuff, and they've never known the heights, so that nothing's really changed for them. But what's
interesting,
what we're missing is
a band like bands like Heaven Shall Burn, or
what type of music is that? Is that still?
That's kind of metal corey, but what's the other one that's like super popular now? With like quite a pretty singer who sounds fairly ferocious. What's his name? Shit.
What's his name?
Yeah, no, like he's a pretty gentleman. That's
right.
He's got beautifully wavy blonde hair. It does not look like he should be singing ridiculously guttural vocals for a metalcore, like deathcore band. There's like a few bands that have like I saw like in Germany when I went to Summer Breeze. These bands like kind of metalcore, deathcore kind of bands had huge audiences, like tens of thousands of people like screaming to them in the fields.
Is this a festival though? Is it they're dedicated?
It is a festival, but I think like they would get a good turnout at fairly large venues. Like that kind of genre is like the newer deathcore and metalcore stuff still gets quite a lot of. I mean, they'll never get. It's never going to be the same level, like you say, as
still underground.
Metallicas and stuff.
What we're missing is the missing link, which is melodic, popular forms of heavy rock and metal that we did have around the turn of the century, that sort of, slowly but surely.
The Zedi Forders of the world.
The Zedi Forders of the world. Yeah, exactly. We are the link.
But popular.
Yeah. That's what you need. That's what you need. That's the way you get kids in from different genres. Because kids aren't going from. Well, I don't know why you did, Rich, because that was a weird thing. But normally, kids aren't going from Beatles to metal, to death metal. Okay, that's not a transition that's average. You kind of need to like bring them in. They go to grunge, and then they get a bit heavier, and then they get a bit heavier, and then they maybe get to my thing, and then I stop. And I don't really get too interested in stuff that's too heavy. I like a good singer. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Get past like a certain level of heaviness, and you lose that. You lose the singer. Well, you lose the style of singing, melodic singing anyway. What's your weirdest hobby?
What is my weirdest hobby?
What's that thing that David Carradine died of?
I don't know. Asphyxie wanking, was it?
yeah. Autoerotic
asphyxiation. I don't have any weird hobbies actually. I started making kimchi recently. That's a bit weird.
Why is it weird?
You salting cabbage and making sauce and putting it in a jar and leaving it to ferment. I wouldn't say it's a hobby though. I've done it twice in like 4 years.
You don't have to like piss on it or anything, do you?
Work.
There's no sort of weird.
No, there's no urine involved in any of my hobbies.
That's a shame, man.
Well, not much anyway.
What about you, Wayne? Man, what's your weirdest hobby?
I like to burp the word wank.
That's not a hobby, man.
I prefer burping the word breasts.
Just a fucking pastime.
I guess I can do yo-yo tricks.
Can you?
Know how to do tricks on a yo-yo, yeah.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
Or a Diablo, any sort of...
Anything suspended on a
suspended,
string.
yeah, any suspended sort of thing. Do tricks on.
Yeah, it's a bit unusual. No, I think just playing some music, playing computer games sometimes.
Yeah, but that's not weird.
Go to the gym more often now.
That's
I
weird.
consider myself weird for that, just because I hate it, but I don't want to die too young. So.
You going to a local gym?
Yeah, do my classes.
Classes?
Yeah.
Or you do
Les Mills body pump.
Oh, okay. So you're not just on just free roaming around.
No, I don't think I'd be consistently doing anything if I were doing anything free. I have to be told what to do. So it has to be someone shouting encouragement at me.
You're not on exercise bikes or anything like that?
Sometimes I do a spin class, yeah. And then there's a terrifying Austrian woman who shouts at you and screams when she's
9!
The tons of resistance up to 45! Rah! Come on! Stand up! It's extremely terrifying, but quite good. Well, that kind of thing should have a metal soundtrack, but it never does. It's always dance music or
always pumping dance.
Well,
it's for the steady rhythm, isn't it?
Yeah. To be fair, it's for the steady rhythm.
Weirdest hobby.
You do a lot of fucking weird shit, Chris.
What's weird though? Like gaming
Actually,
isn't
that's
weird.
not true.
Gaming's fucking
game's not
mainstream, man.
Animations.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is that weird though? The animations
It's
are
not weird to do them. The animations themselves are weird.
I like to shoot air rifles.
Oh yeah.
Every now and again.
That's a little more unusual than anything that I do.
Not at people or anything, but
Just
it might be
animals.
considered weird. It's not your average thing, is it?
Yeah, I think it's more worrying than weird, isn't it?
I guess it's not currently a hobby. I used to play pigeon shooting.
That's cool.
With a shotgun.
Yeah.
Used to occasionally go.
Where did you do that?
It's a place near where my parents live, just out in the countryside. Bunch of Ramshire farmers go there, shoot their clay pigeons, and go home.
Yeah, I've never done that. It seemed like that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good.
Do they say pull?
Yeah. Pull.
Funny enough, I just set up my NES, so I've got clay shooting on that.
Nice.
Oh mate, you fucking... Is that a proper NES, an old school one? Because they got those little mini ones, haven't they now?
No, this is old school,
and it works, man. Fuck.
That's so cool. Yeah, because I got the re-release of a mini Mega Drive.
Yeah.
Plugs in via HDMI.
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah.
NES games. That's even old, mate. I don't think I had a NES when I was young. I had a SNES when it came out. I fucking loved it. Zelda. Super Metroid. What would be classed as a weird hobby?
I like spelunking.
Train spotting. Spelunking, that'd be just extreme. It would be weird, but extreme.
Just a weird word. Spelunking.
I'll spelunk all over your mouth.
I meant to be writing a song for my girlfriend, which I promised her ages ago, which I still haven't finished. Other than that, no. Just playing the odd thing here and there, but nothing project in inverted commas.
Oh yeah, always recording riffs and ideas. Consolidated a few into songs.
You still working with that other band? Some you were
Yeah.
still doing other band stuff.
Yeah, it's the slowest thing I've ever worked in, but yeah. Yeah, we do. We had a jam not about a month ago now. Yeah, so. But they've both got new, small kids, so their lives are over now. So. But yeah, other than recording some riffs and ideas, I think haven't joined any of the bands.
You had
I've done stuff.
Atomic Whimper.
Yeah, I was
really
involved
liked that.
in
That was really cool.
a project called Atomic Whimper, and we released an album called The Doom Approach on Bandcamp now, tricore.bandcamp.com, or indeed atomicwhimper.bandcamp.com, probably.
That was cool because it's like kind of traditional sounding metal riffs, but doesn't sound old school.
Yeah,
it's nicely done.
Sort of traditional riffage with probably just curly melodies.
Yeah.
Over traditional riffage and stuff, but really good. Really good. Eligio, well, I can't pronounce his surname. Boyo, I'll say it. Boyo. Eligio Boyo was the chap who wrote all of the instrumentation, man. Great guitarist, man. Really cool ideas. I also did an electric thing called King Born Peasant, which is just a bunch of electronic tunes. That's it, really, in terms of individual projects. I do session singing, so I sing on other people's stuff. Another thing I do then is teach drums. And if anyone listening is in Surrey and they're thinking to themselves, oh, I've always wanted to play the best instrument that's available for mankind, then I'm your man, and I'll teach you that instrument, the old drums. I'm sure the other guys will disagree that it's the best instrument, but it's fun, has a fitness aspect. So yeah,
you'll always be in demand from bands.
Oh, the rarest.
There is a dearth of drummers.
Are the old drummers, because it's such a pain to buy the stuff, play the stuff when you're young. The neighbours can get in the way and all that sort of thing. But there are e-kits, so people can use that. But www.zediforder.com/curl drums. Go check it out. What's something that you've always wanted to try?
I've always wanted to try hallucinogenic drugs without having to potentially experience the consequences of taking hallucinogenic drugs and the possibility of getting addicted. So that's the main thing that's stopped me, and also their illegality.
Brain cell loss.
Yeah, none of the consequences. That's what I mean. Like, that's what I want to try, because I'd like to know what it must be really weird. I used to, I have an interest in the brain.
I've done shrooms a few times.
Well, you can tell us. What does it feel like to be one with the earth?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's just like being really stoned, really.
Oh man, can you be more descriptive?
Yeah, it's the colours are really vivid, man.
So what are they? Does it change like that?
It enhances your senses, yeah.
Shit.
I went to see Tool on shrooms. It was good.
Oh fuck.
Best gig I've ever been to.
What, because of the drugs? Or because they were really
helps,
fucking good?
Yeah, they had loads of lasers and shit, you know.
Nice.
Pretty good.
So Rich wants to try fucking nuts drugs.
Whilst skydiving.
Just adding more to this.
Yeah.
Extreme
ironing. Like ironing whilst skydiving. Actually, no. That's the thing. That's the one thing that I always wanted to do, is set up a LAN party whilst skydiving and play at least one game of Network Play whilst descending from a plane. I don't know. I imagined doing that at some point. You'd set some kind of record, because you'd have to connect up the LAN cables to the router, and
there's not enough time.
I
Well,
think there
you
could
want to
be.
set it up as you go down
If you manage it well.
and get like a quick game of Doom in or
Just
something.
very, very rapid game of Quake, yeah. Splat. That's what I want to do. That's what I was wanted to do.
How good will your railgun technique be as you're plummeting through
Really
the earth?
bad. Extremely bad. Trans-Siberian Express.
Just we'll lack compared to Rich, just lack so much ambition. So, just so like homebody-ish, like done everything. Thanks. Got everything I need. Cup of tea.
I used to be when I still ate meat, I would potentially want to try more exotic meats.
Oh right, okay. I was gonna say, mate.
Gone off that idea now.
That was going real weird hobby.
There was a club at Oxford Oxford or Cambridge, or both of them, that basically you joined this club and their entire purpose was to try and find weird exotic meats to eat.
Oh, that angers me for some reason. It probably angers you now.
It's really,
well, what sort of
the
meat?
more endangered the species, the better.
What sort of animal would have to be?
Like, I don't know, a lemur or a chimpanzee or something. I think that would be the pinnacle of cruelty.
Oh mate, yeah, chimpanzee.
Or some kind of endangered.
The nearest thing to us. Isn't a chimp?
Lion. Bonobo.
I've always wanted to drive an F1 car.
Oh shit.
Oh, that'd be pretty good.
Just to experience the intenseness of trying to drive it.
The sheer terror of what happens when you push down on the accelerator.
Do a Richard Hammond.
Yes.
And the fact you have to keep it above a certain speed, right?
Well, yeah, you can't really manoeuvre it. Like you can't do a 3-point turn.
I thought there was a speed thing where it will just stall.
They can, I think they are prone to stalling, but you can. Yeah, I think if they stop, certain things happen with engine modes and shit. But
the engine just blows up.
Yeah, they're pretty temperamental.
It's like speed on a bus, like the film. If it goes below 50 miles an hour,
it explodes.
You're fucked. I don't. Is that even possible to do? I know you can do special event days, can't you? Where you can.
I don't think you're allowed an F1 car.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, you can do.
Pinnacle.
You can drive around a rally track or something, but not an F1 car.
F1 car. Just want to see how difficult it is.
Go on a flight in a jet fighter. That'd be pretty cool.
Fly it or just.
Yeah. No. In the passenger seat. Not passenger seat, but you know what I mean. Like the co-pilot seat still didn't actually have to fly it.
I'd like to fly. Just to see if it's not necessarily land. Or even take off, but just when you're up there, fly. Like you do the manoeuvring and stuff, and they go so fast and they pull so many G's that they have to sort of clench, don't they? They have to wear special pants that drive the blood up.
Suits that like squeeze you in different ways to stop the.
And they sort of
going up to your head too much.
They sort of clench when they're pulling G's, so that. I guess they don't pass out, man. But you never see that in films because it would look weird if the camera was on the actor.
People clenching. If the camera was on their buttocks, you'd notice. But they don't film the buttocks. So, you miss out on all the clenching.
You slightly got it in the new Top Gun where I think he was putting a bit more exertion in. But I've seen real pilots on YouTube, and they're literally like,
yeah,
they're doing all that sort of stuff because that's the sort of weird toll it's taking on their body. But you're not seeing that. I don't think you see. Or maybe on the new one he did, but in the old school ones, the old school Top Gun, old school ones where there's fighter.
Lock and load.
Yeah, they're just there with shades, just going along. They don't give a fuck. It's not. It doesn't look like it's much pressure.
What I'd really like to do is try to solve poverty.
Laudable, man. What advice would you give to someone just starting out in a band? No negative. Don't. There's no point.
I don't know, man.
My advice is to remove as much of the emphasis from stardom and fame and money as you possibly can, because then whatever fucking remains will be your motivating factor. That's your interest in the purest form, and it's the only thing that will sustain you when those things don't come to pass. Because if you pile everything in, it's like if you're super obsessed by your looks or something. Do you know what I mean? You put so much emphasis on something like that, and when it fades, and it will fade, what have you got left? It'll hit you hard. You just create more suffering for yourself. So if you can enjoy all of the aspects of being in a band, and just do your best, but not place all your eggs in the fame basket, then I think you're onto a winner. Because there's tons of reasons. Bands being in a band is just fun. It's fun. You create really cool things, unless you're in like a fucking tribute band or a bloody covers band. It's still fun, I guess. Social element is always fun. You're around like-minded people. You're hopefully around people that are of equivalent talent and skill. Otherwise, it's less fun. But yeah. You guys, any advice? People just starting out in bands?
I think, yeah, most people start out with covers when they're doing bands, but I think if you've got a group of friends who are playing, I think try and actually practice what you're going to play at home. If you make a set list and then practice it individually, then you'll have more fun when you're all together and practicing, if you all know your parts. Otherwise you can get annoyed at each other if someone doesn't know their bit. So sort of learning to enjoy practicing so you can sort of succeed as a group, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And when people are young, that's the time where they don't do that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they do like muck around in practice and stuff.
Yeah, basically you'll enjoy it more if you learn the songs, practice, and everyone will enjoy it more and you'll get more out of it rather than just showing up and going through the motions. So try and approach it not professionally, but not to let other people down, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man. What's your advice, Rich?
My advice is practice your scales. It's not really. I don't think I can beat those two. That's good. It's very nice, wise words, gentlemen.
Starting out in a brand new band.
Practice to a metronome.
What, the whole band?
No, like if you're a guitarist or whatever, practice your parts to a metronome.
Or better yet, nowadays on YouTube you can get backing tracks to basically any song. Yeah. So play to a backing track, because it's like playing with a band, except the drummer keeps a consistent tempo.
There you go. Nice.
What's your favourite thing you did with the band before the hiatus? Favourite thing?
It was probably the orgy.
Yeah, that was good.
I mean, I couldn't really walk for about a week afterwards, but it was worth it.
I'm sorry about that, man. But you did bend over. You said you were trying to pick something up, but I didn't see anything on the floor.
So I think the albums obviously were a highlight. I think we did some very, very good albums, very solid albums. Like they have just consistently really cool songs on. They're a lot of fun to play. I quite like some of the music videos we tried to do, because we had to get pretty creative, because none of us were technically skilled necessarily with cameras or had any kind of decent camera editing experience. I mean, Chris did a good job of editing stuff together.
They're fun.
From the crappy footage we had, it was a good laugh.
We only got one. I think quite really not really cool, but like Killer Carter. The video for Killer Carter was pretty cool, but the dance ones were like the weird dancey ones we did.
Oh, for Nacho Man.
Yeah, I like that as well. They're quite fun.
Good.
All because we don't want to spend thousands on getting an actual decent video because nobody wanted to sit in like a warehouse and gurn at a camera. Everyone wants to do something, that has some sort of a narrative, or it's just an interesting watch. But then the budget is obviously going to go up. Same albums. All the albums we did, and the EP we did as well was really cool. I just like just playing music with you guys.
Oh man, my favourite thing was the time we spent together.
Yeah, that's what it's about, isn't it?
It was nice.
That's what it's about.
Mine was that time we went to Alton Towers together. No.
Hang on, I wasn't invited. What the hell, guys? What the hell, guys?
Don't tell him.
Shit.
I don't remember that at all.
No, it was probably doing the ditty stuff. Had more input. Did put some melodies on it and stuff.
Yeah,
Lay down some
these were cool.
whatever felt like.
Yeah, that was
Weirdly,
nice actually.
Quite liked driving home from practice when it was really late at night, driving through the misty fog in heartland of Surrey and Berkshire.
It's nice on the way home.
Dodging the deers on the road as they jump out.
It's always quiet.
Yeah, blasting some ridiculous music. It was nice.
Yeah, the ditties were cool and collaborative. Not like our other stuff. It's light acoustic, but we tend to do the first ditties wasn't heavy either. First ditties we did was indie. There you go. Thanks a lot, Insanity Radio. Thanks a lot, Zoe.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, cheers, Insanity. Much appreciated.
Apologise for our extremely tedious answers about what we've always wanted to do.